Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everybody, welcome again to another great show we're about to have today, man. Wow, oh wow, man. First of all, happy Monday, guys. Happy Monday. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of disappointed my team lost yesterday, my 49ers, so I'm a little bit up and down. But not only that, but this topic here, what we're gonna talk about here today, it's gonna be very emotional. So if you cannot handle it, please don't tune in. But if you have the stomach for it, this is just our thoughts, our opinion, and we already know this is a platform where everything pretty much Hakeem and Joy allow us to let our feelings go. So please, guys, if you have not done so already, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all because you never know when we may go live. And not only that, Hakeem and Jordan, we have a special guest on the show today. We have a special guest. He been hitting me up like, yo, Ronnie, we got a collab. I want to come on the show. And he's well educated. I love listening to him. To me, he's like a father in these spaces because he be giving us the game. And I think there was a great topic to have him on the show today. He go by the name on YouTube by the name of True. So True, introduce yourself before we start, baby.
As always, thank you, Raw Dog. Appreciate you guys. New Jordan era, Mr. Prince Hakeem. Appreciate you guys for having me over here.
Likewise, brother. Appreciate to have you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so hopefully we can tackle this subject and really get down to the bottom of what's going on. Kind of leave the emotions to the side so we can try to find
Yeah,
some solutions to avoid certain things. You feel what I'm saying?
I agree. I totally agree.
Let's get to it.
So, guys, if you have not done so already, make sure you also subscribe to True's channel. He has a channel on Facebook. We will pin it, and I will pin it. We will pin it on top of the chat so y'all can subscribe. So Jordan, you already know. Have your way. Do your thing.
All right, people. So, unfortunately, we're gonna talk about the tragic loss of Tyre Nicholson. Emotions are still high running around from the time of this, of his death. It's Memphis has been rapid crazy for the protests, but not just in Memphis, but other cities like here in LA, New York City, Atlanta, and we're definitely gonna talk about it. So according to what happened, supposedly I'm reading. I guess he was suspected for reckless driving. I believe that's what I'm seeing. It could be something else, and I guess from what I'm seeing is. Let's see. A vehicle was suspected of reckless driving, according to the statement from the Memphis police. Confrontation occurs between officer and the vehicle's driver, later identified as Nichols, who then fled on foot, according to Memphis police officers. Officers apprehended him, and another confronted him occurred, resulting into Nichols' arrest. Police said. An ambulance was called to the scene of the arrest after Nichols complained of shortness of breath. Police said. He was transported to the hospital in a critical condition. January 10th, on January 10th, 3 days later after the stop, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation now Nichols has, passed through the injury sustained to the use of force incident in a statement. January 15th, police provided an update on the investigation. Following the traffic stop, the officer involved were relieved of duties, which is 5 officers, and they were both charged of second-degree murder and also additional to other charges. January 18th, federal investigation declared, which is the Department of Justice said civil rights investigation has been opened into the death of Nichols. Nichols' tragic death a few days after he was involved in an accident where Memphis police officers were using force in her arrest. U.S. Attorney on the West District of Tennessee said in a statement acknowledging the U.S. Attorney Office in coordination with the FBI, Memphis field officer and the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice has opened up civil rights investigation. Now we're gonna play the first video. Hakeem, viewer discretion advised. If you have kids watching, please. Hakeem's gonna play this video of another cam that was showing up of using force of Trey Nichols. So go ahead, Hakeem.
Mm-hmm.
Now you see as body cam, you can see as the officer was using excessive force, and also I want to add to a story. Also, stories are developing that there was a Memphis police officer who also was in that situation as further we cannot see, and he was a white person. He was relieved for this duty, I think it was today or yesterday, and we don't right now. He hasn't been going to charges there, but from what we're hearing, he was also there in that situation. So we also go play a clip of Tyre's father. I think it's like a minute clip, and he's going to say the details of talk about there was a sixth officer involved. So Hakeem, go ahead and play that video as well.
What do you think of the other first responders who were there, the sheriff's deputies who have since been relieved of duty? Do you think that there are others who should also be charged?
Most definitely. It looks as though it may be maybe 5, 6 other police officers that should be charged in this case. There was also at the initial encounter with my son, there was a white officer that was tasing my son, and we don't understand how come his name was not put out there or mentioned in this whole fiasco. So yes, I think that there should be quite a few additional charges.
And Mr. Wells, watching that video, as difficult as it is, there's a point where they say that Tyre reached for an officer's gun, that he had his hand on an officer's gun. And now that there are questions about the nature of that stop, whether there was any reckless driving to initiate it, what do you make?
So as you can see, his father was, telling too, there was another officer involved. Like I said, he was released, but he wasn't charged. He wasn't charged yet. So that's all the story that we have. So, story is still developing. We, still going to want to know, why the white officer has been charged, and why the other officer has been charged. So go ahead, fellas. Speak your truth. What's your take on this?
I'm gonna let True go first because True is our guest, and I ain't gonna lie, I love the way he speaks, and we need some wisdom on this one because I'm about to go in, but I really want to know his intake before I go in. Go ahead.
Appreciate you guys. I don't recall me seeing that footage, and yeah, that right there is. It can definitely lean you towards the emotional side. I mean, to see other men holding another man and binding him to the point where he can't cover up a guard, and they're striking him continuously. He's completely defenseless. He can't even protect himself. So, and then you can just imagine what's going on inside his mind by him being by himself. It's a very disturbing visually to look at. For me, I would like to see, because they said this was a routine traffic stop or something. I would like to see what led up to this stop for them to even get into this point where they needed to start striking him. Was this after the chase, or this was before he somehow got away and then they?
This was after what I'm reading. This was after the chase.
Okay, so more than likely, I would say if you're chasing someone and you're tired, then once you get to them, you're frustrated, and then that's what they're going to try to take what they had to go out on him, which is, very disturbing. I use it as an example of, for those of us that have kids, we tell each other not to, discipline them when we're aggravated or, tired or frustrated or anything like that, because then you take your frustrations out on the individual that need to be either disciplined or not. So more than likely what happened is they chasing them, they're frustrated, they got to do their job out there, and then they take it out on this young man, and it's disturbing, man. That's all I can say. I'm sorry to his family. I heard yesterday he has a child, so that is a father that is lost, a childless, a child that does not have a father, and to see his mother and father there together, it shows that initially, from the outside looking in, that he comes from a family that's what we deem nuclear. You know, a family that is together because they're united right there when presenting themselves. If you take close, observation at the interview, his mother and father was holding hands. So that shows unity as well. So it's disturbing, man. I'm gonna let you guys go ahead.
Now, for me, first, thanks you for your intake. But for me, the number one thing, my condolences go out to the parents and anybody that was affected by the situation that occurred to Tyre Nichols. Here's the thing. Me, Hakeem, and Jordan, of course, and other my counterparts, we have a conversation like this all the time. This is the problem with our community. I think we're not taught on how to handle a situation like this. It was unfortunate this happened, but the reason it keeps happening because we're not taught in the community on how to handle a police encounter. The first thing we're taught is to fight back. The first thing we're taught is to be defiant. The first thing we're taught is to clash back. But we never taught on how to properly handle when we first encounter a police officer. And I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. I've been stopped by police before. I had a gun put out on me before by police just because of the way I look, or because I have dreads and I drive a very nice car. So I'm already profiled number one. I was in a bad. They considered me to be in a bad area at the time, and I had like 2 drawings literally to my face. I'm not gonna lie. The first thing when my reaction was, I was shaking. So just imagine him going through the same thing. I was shaking. My hand was holding to the steering wheel, and I felt within myself, one move, I could have been out of here. So someone like him who went through that, just imagine the fear in his eyes. And you can see it in the camera. You can see the fear in his eyes because we never taught on how to properly handle encounter with the police. Now, those 5 black men, and I think they say it's another one too. I think they say it was a white man as well. But those 5 black men, they need to be ashamed. They need to be ashamed of themselves. Real talk, because they were the same black men that go around and say, "Oh, the white man this, the white man that." But then, yeah, we treat our own like we ain't nothing. This is very sensitive subject. I'm not gonna lie. Like my emotion is very high. I'm trying to, calm myself down because I don't like saying that within our community because we have to see some form of growth. And now, right now, people are protesting. How many times we gonna keep protesting and nothing change? It is a waste of time. But go ahead, Hakeem. I'm gonna let you go. Now come on.
Hey, Hakeem, can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want you to collect your thoughts a little bit more. Let me go. Ronnie, you definitely say something. I'm gonna start with Tyre Nichols. You're 100% right that we're not taught how to handle situations like that. It's more that we see something like the police or something, we go by fear. It's always fear, which I totally get. I totally understand. But I would say this though. Ronnie is right. We do need to talk. You need to know how to talk, how to be in a situation like that. I have a story as I was pulled over while I lived in Miami. I was pulled over in Hialeah for something, and I tell you, this is how, I'm seeing a mom. My mom's told me, it's like, stay calm, make sure you hold your hands on the wheels and be as calm as you possibly can if they pull guns on you or not. Unfortunately, it worked out. And the day my mom told me the same thing about my brother when situations like that, because like I said, we see a lot of stuff like this happening in our Black community. Sometimes we see it, footage. Sometimes it's out there and we don't know it's on the footage in any state or any city. I want to say this about the 5 Black police officer. I don't get why you do somebody that's had the same complexion as you. I do not get that. And this not goes about them. This goes about any police officer that live in any city or any state. I don't get that if you're a black police officer, you got to do that to somebody else, especially with fear. And I also want to say this about these police departments, not just Memphis, but anything else. There has to be a better way to be properly trained to handle a situation like this with somebody that's in fear. Instead of using excessive force, there's other ways you can do. Using a calming, maybe using a calming force to calm them down. Because, like I said, like you see somebody go off them in fear, they're going to react to some type of way. There should be some type of way these police stations, these policemen from these police stations, to find a way to handle situations like this. Because there's going to be more people who act in fear, but I feel like there's a better way to somewhat to calm that fear, so they can calm them down and handcuff and all that type of stuff. And also, and then another thing I want to say about situation for black people in this situation. You can fight this up after you leave after you get bonded and everything. Get a lawyer, get their names and try to fight this stuff, try to fight the case. I don't think a lot of our community knows that we can, if we go to jail, we go to jail. But after that, you can fight for yourself, the order, get the charges, try to do whatever. If you can, try to find a lawyer that's, you can afford or something like that, or try to find legal actions. And I also think that could definitely help out too. And one more thing I want to say, about that 6 black cop that was there. Why didn't he get the same charges? If he was there, why didn't he get the same charges as the other police officer that was black? There's always a thin line somewhere that always popped up. Say, okay, why is this white man not arrested, got charged immediately as a black police officer? That's to me, that's something weird to me like that. And it happens, and not just this, it happens all the time. Now I feel like and Tariq Reed said this. Tariq Nasheed said this. He was saying that he's going to put since they put these black police officers who was charged and everything. Yeah, he was white. Yeah, the 6 police officers, he was right, correct. And I feel like they gonna post. I feel like what Tariq Nasheed was saying, they gonna post these black men as police brutalities, as in it's these type of officers as in black who are doing police brutality, not the white. And I have a problem with that. And that's my take on that. Go ahead, Akeem.
Go ahead, True.
Oh, you sure, brother?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You good.
Max, you guys a question. What area was this in? So I could make sure I was clear. This was Memphis, right?
Yep.
Correct.
What part of Memphis?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think it's in the hood in Memphis. I think, right? It was not in the suburb. I think it was in the hood.
They did mention.
I don't know what they named the area. It was in Memphis, though.
All right. So was this an area that is usually populated with crime?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And what time of the day was? I mean, I know it was at night, but was it like late or?
I'll give it to you. It was
8:30 p.m. Sound like Rodney King.
8:30 p.m. It was at night.
Yeah, same as Rodney King, same thing. Because I think they said it was Rodney King 2.0. Yeah, same time.
Yeah.
Oh, so hold on. Was the time actually the same as what happened with Rodney King? Is that what they're trying to say?
Yeah, similar time. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I want you guys to make sure y'all keep an eye on that because I'm gonna go into that later on. Okay, so both of you gentlemen spoke earlier about understanding proper procedure for civilian, police officer and civilian interaction during I guess we would call a stop. So by now we done seen enough of these situations to know that we have to tread carefully. And for me, as we see, it's not so much a race thing. It's what we would call black and blue, but I'm gonna say blue versus civilian. People in power versus people we would consider in weakness or inferior right now. I think our judgment on both sides, like you said, we're operating in fear. They're operating in. I wouldn't even say they're moving with authority no more. They're moving with absolute power, and we know absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's an actual term. So what we have to do is, for those of us that are civilians, we have to be more cautious about our interaction. And we know operating in fear doesn't lead to anything good. We have to, start thinking clearly, our surroundings, the area we're in, the type of interaction, knowing that we're dealing with people who are, underpaid, underappreciated. All these things we have to start understanding. This is not a presentation for excuse for what happened, because what happened was egregious. But it's about totality of understanding the situation that we're in. So now, I'll give you a prime example. I was probably stopped probably like a couple weeks ago, probably a month ago or whatever. But again, the area I was in was a crime area, and several police officers pulled up. So initially, what I do is I grab everything that I need: my insurance card, my driver's license, the fact that I own this, my registration. I have it in my left hand. I take my feet off the brake, take the key out, drop it up there, and I don't say nothing. I just hand it to them. I allow them to start speaking, but I'd be like, okay, here you go. Go and read, because all my stuff is good. You see what I'm saying? So it makes the process a lot faster. And every time that I have handled it that way, it probably like 5-10 minutes max, in and out. You see what I'm saying? Um, in my past, when I was a little bit more belligerent and ignorant and arrogant, and as well very disrespectful to police officers, because we come from the term of NWA, after police. You see what I'm saying? So that was the mentality. Even if I was in the wrong, that's how I was carrying it. So previous past, I would have said, even if I done wrong, what the f you bother me for? Go do your job, stuff like that. And these type of encounters in this day and age would cause my life to be threatened. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm in the wrong. Actually, they're doing their job. So if we create a situation, more than likely, I'm gonna say most of the time, if we follow through procedure, and if our stuff come wrong, let's say, our license is bad, registration is bad, insurance is bad. You see what I'm saying? And we know this. We know this. It's been times I've had something incorrect and it was bad. You feel what I'm saying? You got to just take that night at the bookings, bro. And it's that's easier than your life. That's easier than causing something to be even worse. It's so much easier. Just take that night. Get out on your own recon in the morning. Pay that. If you even going there, most of the time, because of the situation that we in through the pandemic, they've been giving out tickets left and right, and you go to the courthouse later. That has been the interactions. But we have constantly seen a situation that was perpetuated in, fight or flight, where a person is fleeing and the police officer is in chase, and this what causes more. Like, we have seen this time and time and time and time again. So I think we got to change something. Again, this is not to negate what happened. We clearly see they're in the wrong. They need to be dealt with. The police officer clearly in the wrong. But let
True,
us.
I want to ask you one question. I want to ask you
So,
one question before you finish. This is one question. Just because you was in a bad area, it doesn't make them right for stop you. But do you agree they had the right to stop you? Did you do something wrong?
uh, not so much I did something wrong, but it's just like, okay, let's say I'm living in that area. And my kids are in that area. I want the police officers to do every job. I want them to do their job, which is to serve, protect that area. I want them to actually start doing that job, because it eliminates a lot of the problems. The problem I have is when they're not doing their job. You see what I'm saying? If, let's say, This case is probably not. Again, they probably was in the wrong. I need to know everything. But if a proper investigation is being handled, then I do not have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with them doing that job if it's justified. If it's not, then it has a problem. Now, what happened afterwards, it doesn't matter whether they did a proper investigation or not. What they did to that boy is wrong. That's the part that's wrong. Even if they did their job initially right, it ended wrong. And they need, consequences to come behind that. But as long as they do their job right initially, I don't have a problem with the stop. That's the part. I don't have a problem with the stop. I don't have a problem with them patrolling the area because the only time, because I got to keep it 100, bro. The only time we have a problem with police, police officers doing their job, if we the ones out there committing the wrong. If I'm not doing that wrong, I don't have a problem with them doing their job. When I was out there doing me, I had a problem. I didn't want to be bothered with. I wanted, I wanted to get away with what I'm doing. Like, leave me alone. Let me do me. So it's if you're on both sides of the coin and you're able to see both sides, then it's a little different. And also, I also have family members that are in law enforcement. You see what I'm saying? So I know the things that they have to deal with and the things that they come home and speak about to their actual family members and stuff that they see constantly. It's bigger than what we see from my own POV. That's all I'm saying.
Go ahead, King. Your take.
No, definitely. Before I give my take, we want to answer the questions in the chat. Just Jay, I want to say something. Queen, your opinion always matters. You did have a real good question. She asked earlier, how do you control fear? And I want y'all brothers to touch on that. She asked that, and hold on. What was she asked, Just Jay asked, how do people control fear? And anywho, there's levels to these things. Yeah. She was just how do y'all control fear? Touch on that, then I'm gonna give my take on this.
How do I control fear? I'll go first. The way how I control fear is not thinking of the worst, living in the positive moment, and really enjoying life. When you live in the worst, then that one fear comes. But the problem is, especially as black men, we've been getting taught by the media, by movies, and by the people we surround ourselves with. That's when the fear actually start coming. But the way you supposed to control fear is by living your best life and don't wait for the worst. Go ahead, Jordan.
Mine's kind of similar with Ronnie. Hey, I wake up and enjoy life. I wake up in a good mood because tomorrow's not promised. The next hour is not promised. The next 20 minutes is not promised. And life can be risky. Anything that could be risky. And to that is, it's like, I'm always in a good mood because I don't, like I said, I know with Ron, I don't expect the worst. I always just expect the good, maybe something good. If something don't go wrong, doesn't go as well as planned, it's okay. Stuff happens. But for me, like I said, tomorrow's not promised, and next couple of hours not promised, and life is risky. And I always appreciate life and, just to be here. And for that, that's how I control my fear is to be positive and really have a calm mind state. And also, I have family, I have friends, I have coworkers that loves and appreciate me as well. So that's my little take of fear, if that makes sense. Go ahead.
Yes, likewise to you, brothers. Regardless of my situation or the day I wake up into, it's a blessing to have my eyes open. So I wake up with joy in my heart every day, man. I don't wake up angry, upset, and I don't wake up in fear because when you're doing right, even when something goes wrong, the principle of it is you chose to do right. You chose to operate in, promise and principle. So usually, like I said, on occasion, things can go wrong. But usually when you do right, right still happens. You're still able to go home. You're still able to, see your family members and, your loved ones and those and so forth. For me, I'm a man of faith. I believe in God through Jesus Christ. So the word tells us God do not give us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. So that's
Preach.
why I always keep telling people, if you have a clear mind and handle things correctly, usually they work out pretty well.
Hallelujah.
You feel me? So
Hello.
Go
That,
ahead,
that was
Hakeem.
yeah, that
that
was
was
it.
a truth. That was a great take. That was a beautiful take.
It was. It was.
Beautiful take. Now, I'm gonna come at this from a different standpoint. This is gonna be a teachable moment because you might not know. So my cousins are in the chat. Roni knows me. I'm a documented street nigga. I've been to jail many times. I'm this documented. This ain't nothing to brag about or nothing. And there's a point that I'm trying to get with this.
Oh, likewise, brother. Go ahead and
Oh,
talk.
okay. Oh,
Yeah,
listen,
go ahead.
you might feel my point when I tell you
Yeah,
this.
Ronnie know me.
So do you know most of the people who are getting shot and killed by the police, a lot of them are not street niggas. Street dudes
Preach.
street dudes understand standard operation of procedures. We know
Correct.
we know these people come here to do their job and we trying to get home. I done been accosted in front of my cousin's house due to the fact of my criminal record. Literally, like, due to the fact of my criminal record. I know how to play it cool. I know how to follow procedures. So you said something earlier that was very pivotal. There's already a negative cloud already amongst some black people. So police centers are heightened. When I say heightened, their adrenaline is already at a 10 before they reach the car. You have to understand standard rules of engagement when you out here dealing with these folks. I'm just only regurgitating what my brothers is talking about. We have an issue with police. A lot of this can be stopped due to people getting too emotional when the people roll behind the car. If you going to jail, you going to jail. It's plenty of times I say, hey, y'all got me, let's go. I done had a boot kicked in my face for acting stupid. We know how this thing can go, but for some apparent reason, follow orders, follow orders, follow orders, follow orders. The problem with us, everything has to deal with principles. Oh, he disrespected me. Oh, you talking to me like a boy. I'm a man. Nigga, we under siege. We at war. Know what you doing. You care about your daughter? Go home. You talking back to somebody who clearly has more power than you understand. And clearly a lot of my other brothers who I seen got laid down did not understand the standard procedure. I done been in sticky situations. Sticky. Guns drawn, laid me down, pulled
Tell
me
him,
out,
Hakeem.
the
Tell him.
seat. Oh, what you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm home every time. I'm home every time. You know, the people who file the most complaints on police are street niggas. You know that? They understand what's going on. But here's the issue too. And this is what I tried to do for my nephew when he started to get of age. I ride with him, take him to the hood, take him to this. And this is the reason why you got certain dudes who understands the situation. We know certain places not to go. We're going to go get a ticket. We know how to act when the police pull up. Turn the lights on. Put your hand on the steering wheel. Simple stuff. I'm just saying simple stuff. When you see the lighting and put all your windows down, that signals to the cop, oh, he know what time it is. I'm sorry that had to happen to that, my brother. It hurts me. Especially a lot of y'all, I read the article. He was suffering from Crohn's disease as well. Maybe as soon as he got beaten, you know what I mean, stuff like that. And I would wish I could talk to the brother and say, don't run. What are you running for? Let them take you to jail. Let them take you to jail, please.
Reach.
Don't talk back to them, please. Please don't talk back to them. That's another issue we got too. A lot of us feel like, oh, I got a right to say anything. Man, shut up. Yo, shut up. Let me come get my lawyer. And this is why there needs to be a particular training for black. It's sad to say this, and I know a lot of y'all might be like, the whites and the Hispanics don't have to do this. We're not them, so we have to protect our kids. There has to be a particular class to train kids on how to deal with police officers.
But Hakeem, that is the job of the fathers. That is the job of the father. If the father was there in the home, they would be the one to teach them how to handle the cop. Now, prime example, you were taught from the streets. Truth was taught from the streets. I was taught from my father. I think Jordan was taught from his uncles. See, we have father figures. Most of these gentlemen today don't have that. Go ahead.
Hakeem, before you go, I want to say this. You made a picture before how street dudes know what to do. I'll show you a movie. You remember the New Jack City when Nino Brown, he was getting beat up by Ice-T, and then they handcuffed him? He didn't do anything. He was like, beat my ass, beat me. I know what to do. I got my lawyers. I'll follow the rules. Like I said, after he got locked up, I said, man, I'll be out in a week. I'm gonna be back in these streets. Because he had the lawyers and he knows how to comply with the law when the police are involved to get handcuffed. Go ahead, King.
Before I say some truth, do you got something to say?
Go ahead, Chuck. You got to say something.
Just real quick before you go back in your bag, bro, man. You said it. I mean, said it as clear and simplistic, bro. When you've been in certain environments, in certain situations, you automatically know how to move. This is our life. You're just gonna move the way it is. That it's the game. They got their set of rules, we got our set of rules. We automatically know what time it is. And that's why I'm saying every time I always went home with that type of situation because I already knew what time it was. If I did something wrong, hey, let's go. I'm going down to the book. Simple as that. And the problem is, like you said, we think we have this so right to talk and be able to speak up, and there's this pride. This sense of pride and entitlement is what's causing our death, bro. See, one thing I was taught coming up with my peoples was respect authority. You feel what I'm saying? That badge and that gun, sad to say, they are in a position of authority. That's the game. It's as simple as that. And we lost respect of that part. You feel what I'm saying? It's not about me being a man and I need to say something to him, bro. Me being a man, I need to get home to my family. That's being a man. I need to, if I'm out here in the streets, I need to go home and shoot. If they're going to whip my tail right now, I'm gonna let them whip my tail so I can be back out on the block to doing my thing. Go ahead, beat my tail. Okay, cool. You got your thing off. All right. You're gonna see me right back out here doing my thing again. And it's the same process over and over and over again. I'm not running from nothing unless I know I can make a clean getaway. And then the thing is, running from a traffic stop, bro. That's the point that doesn't make any sense for me. That's the only part. And like he said, the civilians are the one that's losing their life because they're not used to being in these type of situations. They're not used to it. They're not used to constant interactions with these people. And that's what I mean, the boys and boys. So.
Oh, and truth, and not being in this race, and also thinking they will never be in that situation.
Facts. There we go. Thinking it can't happen.
Facts, Jordan. Facts. Yeah. You are right. Because we think we never gonna be in that situation. Go ahead, Ken. You in your bag today.
Yeah, definitely. I got something to say, but Red Lipstick say it was not a traffic stop. What was it then, sweetheart? Elaborate. Yeah. Come on. We got the link is. Yeah. I'll drop the link in the description.
That was gonna say I can't drop the link so these people can come up and ask their questions. Because
I read the ABC article. They said it was for reckless driving.
Yeah.
So
that's a traffic stop. That's a traffic
stop. So
Red say send the link. She's gonna come through.
So here's another point that I wanted to touch on what Ronnie said. And a lot of the reason why we need a class to teach kids how to interact with police officers because there's not no many fathers home.
Correct.
We have to be the dads now for the kids who don't have fathers anymore. Mm-hmm. The problem is it's so easy for us to just get up and say, oh, that's not my jit. Bro, I done intervened in a bunch of young dudes about to do something, I don't intervene in a bunch of young dude stuff. Because you want to know why? I believe in karma. I don't want that same young dude to be the same young dude that let off a hammer and my mom is at the supermarket. You got them type of situations that happen. 60 degrees, 360 degrees situation. We have to be the new fathers now for the fatherless kids. Right now, it's a pandemic right now. So I look at what can I do to provide to start helping these kids. Listen, my nephew and them got stopped in Miami Beach one time. I went over there. I rushed over there because I know how the police people play over there. I'm talking to them. I said, man, y'all stupid. What y'all doing out here late night and y'all got dreads and it's dark tints in here? I say, bro, do you know where you at? I had a harsh talk with them. I said, man, y'all got to know how to move out here. You know what I'm trying to say? So I always try to, at any given moment, teach and insert myself in situations to try to teach these kids something. Because let me tell you something, it ain't all about principles. Your right is to, listen, you got a right to breathe, but you got to respect these folks.
Talk to them.
Yeah, you're right about that. You made a great point about Miami Beach. Same areas of you going to hear. I'm in LA. Same place you go to West Hollywood or Beverly Hills. If they see you, if you don't look recognizable, and you do something that's kind of funny, they gonna come to you and see what's up. See if you do start some trouble.
So guys, over here, everybody go one at a time. I know people are normally used to Fight Club because a lot of people came over from Fight Club. Shout out to Fight Club. We over here, we just take one at a time. So we're realistic. Thank you for being on the show. Go ahead, Queen. Do your thing.
Hey, Queen.
Queen.
Coming to talk to us.
Yes, thank you. Go ahead.
For those who doesn't know, my fiance is in law enforcement. I put it like that. So I have inside stuff. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just a traffic stop. It was personal. One of the cops has an issue with him. They were actually running him down. That's why he was driving in and out of traffic, because he knew who was chasing him. One of the lieutenants, ex-girlfriend, baby mama, worked in the same place that he did, and they were involved. He didn't like that. He was trying to get back with her. So this was a personal thing. There was no way he was going to get away because it was personal. They wanted to beat him, but they got carried away. I don't think they intended to kill him. I'm sorry, YouTube. Delete him, but they wanted to beat him. It was personal. And this is why that same officer took that picture, because he sent that picture to her. And according to, I call him LT. That's what I call him. I call my fiance LT. He said one of the reasons why this is really sticky, and a lot of stuff is going to come out. You guys going to hear it sooner or later. It's going to go all the way up to the top, including Miss Ma'am. That's over that unit. A lot of stuff going to come out, and it's going to get interesting. But this was personal. This was a very personal thing. It had nothing to do about him weaving in and out of traffic. They were chasing him, and he was trying to get home. He was feet away from his house. That's why he was running.
Okay. So what's going on, sis? I know you're going to have it. What's up, baby? I know you're going to have the 411. I know how you get there. So my question is this. So let's go here. So now this whole thing of this man losing his life is blown up about a woman.
Unfortunately, it's about some cat.
Here we go again. See.
Yeah.
So to make sure, see. Okay, so let me get this. Okay, so I need some clear information. Okay, so the gentleman that lost his life, he was involved with someone inside of the police.
His workplace. Yeah, it was his workplace. They both worked at FedEx.
Okay.
Apparently, the lieutenant and his wife and the girl, they were broken up. He was trying to get back with her, but she didn't want to get back with him because she was into Tyre.
Okay. So so the lieutenant wanted was dealing with the woman that this man that lost his life with is now dealing with. So
that was his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, so the lieutenant ex-girlfriend was dealing with the gentleman that lost his life now.
Exactly.
Okay, okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is
everybody kept saying, why did after they beat him and they put him up against the car and he took a picture? Why did that one cop take that picture? He took that picture and sent it to her.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. So, and this is what I constantly be talking about what is actually perpetuating men destroying other men in somewhere along the line. Every time it's a woman. And I've been saying,
will bring down a whole kingdom. You don't know history about. Come on now.
Actually, it is.
Yeah, that's true.
This is just funny because I let it tell it. No, it ain't no woman no near this. Now we found out the reason of it is over a woman. And see, this is sad, man. This is
it is.
Because if you watch the video and listen to what he said when he pulled him out the car like that, just listen to it. Like, who does that? You can tell right off the bat that was personal.
Yeah.
So
I could tell it was personal when they was beating him. That's why I said, what happened? What caused them the way they're beating him and they binded him? That's why I harbored on that. That looked like an execution. So what would make him that angry to do that to him? Like, what going on? Now it makes sense. It all makes sense.
They weren't even supposed to be in that area. So it goes back to the thing. Yeah, they're not even supposed to be in that area.
Wow.
The area that they were in, that's like a well-to-do middle class area. They were supposed to be in the hood. That's their area.
So
they chased him down. That's why the boy ran. And what made it so interesting, King told me today, was that it was good. It was a good thing bad thing that he ran, but a good thing he ran because he ran where there were cameras that were not controlled by the city or the police. Because if we did not have those cameras shining down, you wouldn't have seen the whole beating. They threw down their cameras. They turned off their cameras. They threw them on the ground. You wouldn't have seen that. The only way we got to see the footage of them, really, really get, beating him and stuff is because those are private cameras. He ran to a safe space.
So I want to say this, Red says so this is why they got charged so quickly, because they knew about this. That's why they got charged so quickly.
I think so. It was no way around it at all. However, like I said, it's a lot that's going to be coming out. It has to do with the actual task force and the chief. So there's a lot I can't say, but just stay tuned, y'all. It's about to get juicy. It's about to get juicy, including the white cop.
But Ray, I want to ask you a question. So the guy, was he even married to any one of those gentlemen, or there was just one guy? He was just smashing her. One of the police cops was smashing the lady.
He was, well, according to one of the family members, they were actually dating. That Tyre was dating the young lady because her and the boyfriend, the cop boyfriend, they were broken up for months.
Well, that's what we know, right?
But you know how you guys, not you guys, but I'm saying, you know how the guys were like, oh, I want to, you see your girl with another man, you want to, exert your dominance. Like that.
Yeah,
right. Type thing.
Yeah, but also, Ty, see, this is the thing too, because see, you also know this. Now that is true, but you also know relationships don't really be over with, and people be dibbling dabbling. Why? So what happens is women usually do not cut off from the other person until they know that the second
You're right.
one is a
And it
100%
could be
in.
some double
So
dipping and
yeah, so that's what I was saying. She need to be held accountable as well, because this is why I constantly promote that in transition there needs to be an enormous amount of time instead of going in and out of one relationship to the next, because emotions are high, and this is causing problems. Not too long ago, a couple months ago, I think it was in September or August, we heard about a rapper that got deleted. Remember the rapper that got deleted because of the same situation? The
Yeah,
girl
that is
had
correct. Yes.
Trouble.
yeah.
He was sleeping. He was
He was
sleeping.
sleeping. Yeah.
He was sleeping while they gunned him down.
right.
He had
So
a key.
exactly. So the guy came in and deleted him, and the report said they just got finished dealing with each other a week ago.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? This stuff is, man. This stuff has to
That's
stop.
a whole nother. Look, we could talk about that part right there, where
Exactly alone.
people
That's
go
what I'm
in
saying.
from one relationship to another. Because I can tell you, I've seen women get out of one relationship one week and another dude moved in the next week. Okay, I was like,
Exactly.
child, give it a rest, baby. Okay.
It's like it's like they always have something. It's like maybe we lunch they say, "Oh, I got something in my back pocket. I got this though. I'm gonna run to this one."
And that's when they talk about, oh, I got a rotation, child.
Yeah,
Okay.
women be the main one having rotation. But the thing is, the thing is with this situation here, it doesn't make it right. Even though the man was doing whatever with that woman, it doesn't give the police the right to take that man's life. That's the problem.
Well, see, you have to now. I'm gonna school y'all a little bit because I got the inside. So when it comes to this, is what King would say to me when I ask him these questions, because sometimes I have a show just dealing with police stuff, and he comes up, him and Diesel, and do their cop thing. You have to understand who is becoming police officers now.
Exactly. There you go.
See, you got the guy that got bullied in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets out, becomes a police officer, so he can go back in the hood in which he came from to bully the people that bullied him. We
That's
had
right.
a case. We had an actual case here in Baltimore. True. I
Yeah.
know
Oh,
you know it.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah. I know.
When they have a Napoleon complex.
Yep.
Yes.
Hey,
Facts.
Queen, do you remember that shooting that happened in Milwaukee where a police officer shot another guy over another woman? The police officer had went to high school with the guy.
Yeah, they do it. They do it all the time. And you have to understand. Then you have the vanillas that do it, so they can do what they do. They white supremacy stuff. They like to come bully the people in the black neighborhood. But then you also have the black guys that they want to do the same thing. They want to do the same exact thing as the Klan people. So you have all these different types of people with these mentalities being able to get into the police department. And when I was talking to King, I was saying, so what can be done? So somebody said, evaluations. But one thing that he said, he was like, you can have an evaluation all day because you can lie on a piece of paper.
Correct.
You can. All you gotta do is know the right answers. And hey, here's your badge. Here's your shield. So it's going to be hard to kind of weed those people out because people are good pretenders, black or white.
Man, she's speaking some truth. Who came up? I can't see another person in the chat. I mean, in the panel. Who's that?
Just Jay. Welcome, Just
Oh,
Jay.
Just Jay's here.
Hey, just Jay. Hey.
Just Jay, I thought I blocked you. No, you good.
Me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Me okay?
Yes.
Go ahead, Just Jay. Do your thing. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, it's right. So for me, like, I wasn't shocked because the officers were black, right? in general, that those are loyal to us, right? But it's not about to back the blue, because you know what I'm saying. The blue is their clan, black, if they're in that, and so there's a.
Can y'all hear her?
Yeah, hold on, Just Jay, Just Jay. Just Jay, are you on? I know you got an iPhone. Are you on Safari?
I got my laptop. Or you need me to
Yeah,
go to Chrome?
yeah. Go to Chrome. It makes you in and out.
All
Go
right,
on
all
Chrome.
right.
Yep.
I'll out and come back.
Okay.
Go ahead. Hakeem, you was gonna say something. Go ahead.
No. I was just welcoming her. I don't know if anybody else got something to
No,
say.
go ahead.
Go right ahead.
Go ahead, True. True, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me? Oh yeah, my fault. I had it on mute.
Yeah, there you go. You was muted. Go.
Yeah. No, I was saying just now that added information just changed a lot. It because it made sense. That's what it kept bothering me. Like this seemed personal. Like why is they beating them like that? So now that we know that the source of the animosity towards this kid was a female, it changes so much. It shows what our common enemy in this whole situation is, and we have this constant divide with each other. And then it's falling back on us as men because we are not operating how we should as men, bro. We got to do a better job of maintaining our emotions with the ones who are emotional, and that's with women, these females. They're not going to be cautious enough to not do certain things to put our life in certain situations where we want to be respected. You see what I'm saying? And it causes tension amongst ourselves. It causes us to look at each other as, villains and so on and so forth. And it's sad. I saw a video, and I'm trying to find it because a woman actually came out and she said, I'm gonna confess. She said, want me to let you guys know why 75% of our black men are dying? She said, y'all think it's because of crime. She raised her hand. She raised her hand. She said 75% of our black men are dying out here because somewhere along the lines it's a woman involved. We are she said it just like that. She said we are the problem.
No, I agree. I agree with that. And not only that, but when Realistic said that, I'm not gonna lie, it did change my narrative. But wrong is wrong. Rather she was cheating or whatever she was doing, no one should be able to lose their life over some woman. Period.
Oh, of course not. Either way, they're responsible for taking someone's life. They're responsible. But see, the thing is, the culprit or the person involved, it needs to be some accountability for people's actions to cause certain things. The causality of things, it's got to be, because these type of situations are going to constantly be perpetuated, and the person that's actually involved, the originator, they're going to just skate on and do it to someone else. They're the ones that, now we got, 5 police officers, because this is the running narrative. Look what black men do to other black men. And that's the truth. Look with it. We done destroyed
Preach.
basically ourselves once again. But the thing is, nobody's not looking at what's the thing driving this. And it has been the simplest thing that been driving since the beginning of time that caused the fall. You feel what I'm saying? We as men got to find a way to move better, bro, and start doing things the right way, how we know how to do it, instead of being perpetuated by something else as a driving force. This is just sad. I
No,
No,
but
I
true.
have
This
a
is the,
question.
go ahead, lady. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, Realistic. Go.
The question is, so I'm listening to you, and I agree because a lot of things that I see here and has to do with the woman. But the thing is a certain type of woman that's causing all this. So the question is, Where is the line where men will actually start choosing the correct type of woman that won't put them in these types of situations?
Yeah, that's what I was speaking on, Ty. But all right, so let's hop on that real quick, okay? So the running narrative is, so what are we going to say? This was a city girl. Is that what we're trying to say?
Child, wait till you see them pictures. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so let's get this straight. See, and this is where the complexity of everything changes because that narrative get run in a whole, and it basically says that we don't have women out here that dress modestly, that ain't hanging at clubs, that ain't home doing the same thing, causing a war between men and causing men to lose lives. They're not putting men in jail for lying on them and stuff like that. It's just a Meg Thee Stallion, City Girls, those type of women, Cardi B. Those the only type of women that's doing these type of things to men, and it's not. The ones that you can't see are the most dangerous ones out here, and they're the ones that's destroying the community. They're the ones that's causing the most divide. If
Now
a
I'm
guy
about to throw a
put
monkey
himself
wrench
in
in
that
it. No.
if he put himself in that situation and it's
Mhm.
clear to see that she was what's name, then I don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel
Now,
sorry for him.
okay, I'm about to throw a monkey wrench in it because
Yeah.
I'll be getting the scoop on all things law enforcement. What do you say? Because I heard you said, you and the brother, Prince said, you guys are from the street life, and you know that a lot of times the young men are on the street is because of their mamas.
Mm-hmm.
You better bring some
Okay.
money in here some kind of way. So, what if the woman that's causing the chaos in this young man's life or these men's lives are the mamas, the aunties, the grandma, and
Mm-hmm.
the sisters? Because I know y'all seen the video where the girl called the brothers over there and to rectify the boyfriend that was arguing with her, and he ended up shooting them. So,
Mm-hmm.
what do you say? How do the men, free themselves from that type of situation?
Uh, do you guys want to go first, or would y'all go ahead?
Before we do something, Just Jay, she still hasn't said her point.
Yeah, go ahead, Judge Jay.
Well, y'all done took the conversation somewhere totally different.
Yeah,
Is the sound okay?
yeah, the
No,
sound
it's
is
the same. It's the same conversation. It ties in
No,
together.
no, no.
Yeah.
Well, I'm asking, is the sound okay?
it's
Yeah,
immaculate.
it's clear. It's clear. You're good.
Okay, okay, awesome.
It's
What
lovely.
you say it's the same conversation, but it's not the same conversation because what happens is when we get into these spaces, it deflects from the collective, and that's just not something I'm willing to do. Okay, men been dying about coochie since the beginning of time. It's the dynamic, and it is what it is, and the game ain't gonna never change concerning that, right? It's up to the individual on how they choose to move. At the end of the day, this is an issue with ego. That lame ass cop, now that was his ex, okay? So that lame ass nigga couldn't get the fuck over it, and he brought his brothers into the fold, right? Now their life is gonna be totally changed because this motherfucker couldn't get the fuck over his ego. So this is a matter of ego. It's not about women ruining men's lives and all that. That's the dynamic, right? So if a man is a leader and the woman is the weaker vessel, right? Okay, isn't it his job to protect her? So yes, there are people who don't exercise wisdom, right? But we can't speak for everybody else because at the end of the day, we have to govern how we move. But what I was going to speak on earlier was the dynamic, the toxic dynamic of power when it comes to law enforcement. There's a huge imbalance of power, right? And it takes a lot of wherewithal, a lot of sturdiness to be able to balance that, right? Because what happens is when decent officers get into those spaces, they're either boxed in or they're pushed out. And so I'm sorry, what you say, Red?
I'm sorry, that was me. I'm going on
Oh,
mute.
okay. So what you have is pretty much a gang. What I saw was gang bangers beating the fuck up on somebody unwarrantedly. As an officer, it is your job to come into a situation being able to assess the level of threat, right? and respond accordingly. What they did was totally unwarranted. So that alone, I can't even process because that's just trash police work. And I don't even want to call it police work because it really did seem, and I agree with them, it seemed personal because I kept trying to rationalize in my mind, how does this beating warrant the level of threat? I used to be a CO, right? Very brief because I give a fuck about people, right? So they got sick of my ass. I literally had officers telling me that I care too much. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because they human. It ain't my job to shit on them. I'm paid to keep
Facts.
them safe and keep everybody else in the environment safe while they're in custody. That's my only fucking job. So at
Preach.
any rate, you have that type of shit. So the dynamic alone, the system is fucked because those people get pushed the fuck out because in their mind, in the blues mind, right? They looking at me like, well, damn, you over here advocating for these detainees and these inmates. We don't know if we could trust you. So what they do, they push your ass out. Even the social workers who care and they're trying to advocate for these people, trying to get them services and whatever. For a lot of these people, it's just a fucking hassle. My training officer told me, he said the reason, because I had more issues with the officers than I did the detainees, right? I'm talking about they was bullying me, they was giving me hell. At any rate, my training officer told me the reason they own you is because you're a damn good officer. And what's gonna happen is they're gonna have to do their fucking job if you stay here. They gonna have to tighten up. So at any rate, you have that dynamic of power that's fucked up. They are always gonna back the blue first. It doesn't matter if you black or not. So for me, honestly, it didn't surprise me. I wasn't shocked that they were black. You know what I'm saying? Because they are loyal to blue first. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, aside from that, they had their own agenda, is what it seems like to me. So it's kind of even hard to have that conversation. But
Yeah.
ultimately, it is something that it's just a fucked up dynamic of power because everybody can't handle that level of power.
Exactly. Yep.
You know, and my trainer
That's
also
facts.
told me, he said that most people who go into law enforcement, right, they either sadists or they egotistical people.
Y'all, we
And
just
it's
said
fucking true. I'm
that.
telling you, I have seen some shit. I have seen sergeants, you know what I'm saying, after the fight over, because dudes want to fight during chow, you know what I'm saying, breakfast, oh, somebody want to skip a line, fight, break out. Everything is sorted. Everything cool. Here come a weird ass sergeant blazing like he from the Wild Wild West. The situation over with. He done grabbed the man, snatched him up, got his hand behind the shoulder. You know how they do that move where they push your elbow up and they kind of isolate your shoulder behind your back. And so, dude, like, let me go, man. You hurting my fucking shoulder. Listen, this sergeant said, oh, I'm hurting you. How about I hurt you some more? And he jacked that shit up some more. So these are people who have power, you know what I'm saying? And they don't know how to wield that power because, well, I won't say because it's so many different reasons. And so I do feel like good officers have a hard time. And
Mm.
sometimes their lives are at risk because they coming up against a whole system.
Yeah,
And
I was
so they
about
get boxed in, but at any rate, yeah, I got a lot to say about it. But yeah, as far as like the women thing, I'm not even finna take it there because to me that sullies the level of injustice. You feel me? Like I don't give a fuck who was fucking who, and who was sniffing whose coochie and balls and whatever. At the end of the day, what they did was unwarranted, and I find it disgusting. I don't give a fuck if they black, white, in between. There is no way an officer should handle themselves like that. But yeah, let me go on mute because I've been running my mouth.
Nikki Baby said they need to evaluate these people in all areas of their life. That is true, and
Correct. There we
I
go.
want, and I want to put this out here as well. So, you have to go back to first of all look at who the chief is. Check her background out. Your eyeballs won't fall out when you go check hers.
Mm-hmm.
The person that assembled this team. This is not her first rodeo with this
Mm-hmm.
type of behavior. Um, and also the officer that was in charge of this particular unit um was the head of a fraternity. Because I don't want to say because I don't want to get anybody in trouble over here. And he himself got in trouble for excessive hazing, where a young man was almost deleted.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Wow.
part about evaluating people before they become, yeah. And one of the other ones was fired from a correctional facility where he was reprimanded for excessive force on an inmate. So she's absolutely correct.
Yeah. So I mean, the whole thing is messed up. But again, yeah, I'm going to get back onto it. So, like I said before, us as men, we got to do a better job of stop messing with these heifers, man. Seriously, we got to do a better job of stop messing with these whores out here because they're going to continue to scave away and do the same thing with another man over and over and over again. And it is incumbent upon us as men to move as men, to know what we're dealing with, to not even involve ourselves with these type of women. It is incumbent upon us to examine and exercise discretion about people we're dealing with. We have to we have to look at, and like I read was saying, they need to evaluate in all people's lives. Yeah, see what type of wife he dealing with, see what type of woman he dealing with, everything. See what type of children they have. You feel what I'm saying? I constantly say, man, half of these daggone like females in these spaces, man, I wouldn't even allow them to speak or even address them because they're never going to be held accountable for the things that they partake in. And it is us as men, as if we claim to be leaders, we do need to, stand up and say, yo, we're not even going to put ourselves in that even situation. And the guy, Red, you said this was a woman that assembled this task force?
Yeah, she we about to go down this rabbit hole.
No, no, go ahead.
She started in Atlanta. Yeah, right from that. Because she assembled, I think it's called the Red Dragon team. It's the same thing as the Scorpion team with the same agenda. So this is a pattern of hers assembling teams.
Right. So we got a woman that assembled some feminine, emotional men to respond this daggone way. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we all need to be accountable for some of the things that we're doing. But then also look at what it starts. It starts from the head. It starts from the head of the situation and then perpetuating into something way bigger where somebody lost their life. This is not an excuse about what happened to that boy, but we need to start learning how to understand what's happening between the lines of certain things, how to prevent certain things. That's the thing. Or they're going to constantly happen. This is not going to be the last time some type of situation happened between law enforcement and civilian. That's why I said earlier, something don't seem right. I kept asking you guys, something don't seem right. This same person, I kept saying, this is a routine traffic stop or something. Why is they beating this man this bad? And it happened because of some stupid stinking bootio. Like we can't throw our lives away over trash, man.
But this is a question I want to ask you guys. Should a woman be charged too?
Yes. That's my point.
Did the woman tell them go beat that man? I'm confused.
That's my point. Yes.
What would be her charge? She didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
What would be her charge?
Yeah,
they need to be something. They need to create something. She need to go down.
Because if you listen to what I said, she had moved on, but old boy didn't move on.
Exactly, Red. You said she moved on and chose Tyre.
She moved on.
Red, let me ask you a question.
He was mad that she moved on.
Right.
So how could
I'm about to explain that.
Charge her because he was the one with his drawers in his booty.
Right. So we just finished discussing the situation about trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So apply that same scenario to this situation. It's always called I moved on, but they're always doubling back to allow that the next man to stick. We don't know if she was still screwing him.
Right, we don't know.
This thing seems
criminal.
No, I didn't say it was criminal. I didn't say it was criminal.
That's true. I was just about to say that.
I didn't say it was criminal. I didn't say it was criminal. I'm gonna say it again. I didn't say it was criminal.
you said she should be charged. So what's she gonna be charged with?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I didn't say it was criminal. Clearly, it's not. That doesn't mean it need to be something somewhere along the lines where people are involved. Just like, okay, people are being charged. If I call somebody to delete themselves, right? Y'all have never heard somebody call somebody to delete themselves through text messages and stuff like that, and they are now put in jail?
Yes.
We have seen that. So the same scenario can happen here now. Let's say they find text messages where they were still involved. Let's find text messages where they are still involved, where they were still going back and forth in the time period that she was dealing with this man, and trace it back. Just like if I cause a woman to delete herself,
it's not gonna work.
You're right. I'm going to jail.
It's not gonna work. The only way that
I'm going to jail.
Wait, Truth. Now I'm about to break it down to you. The only way anything like that would work if she, in a text message, video message, or anything of that nature, tell him in some type of way to harm him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way that's going to work.
And you don't know if that happened. You don't know what they.
Yeah, but we don't know the text.
We don't know either, and we're already jumping out the window. And
I'm just asking a question.
That's my point. Nobody knows. We just accept.
But you're demonizing women at the hand of the injustice of all these motherfuckers that beat that man. That's crazy.
Moving on as an ex.
No, I'm sorry. We can't move on as people doing this. This is not going to work as a collective. It's not going to work. Sorry.
Whatever. I'm not tripping on
it. You can say whatever, but I mean, if we're gonna have real conversations, that's like me coming in here saying, "Oh, these dudes ain't no shit ass niggas because they was up here fucking with them." I'm not gonna do that. What I'm looking at their actions. I don't give a fuck who they are. I'm looking at the actions, and their actions is trash ass behavior.
Well,
but Judge Jay, they say if the officer was returned and it was a woman that happened to a woman, I guarantee you they would have hold that man accountable, even though the man ain't.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Keep it real, Judge Jay.
No, I didn't even hear what you said because I'm not one of them people do all this back and forth man woman shit. I look at
I'm not going back and forth with you. I'm just saying
if you have goofy ass actions, that's what I'm gonna deal with. I don't give a fuck what you is. Now, what are you asking me, Ronnie? If it was a woman,
if it was a man in reverse. If a man was the one getting charged, let's say if the man was involved with a woman, the woman got beat to death by the police officer, the man would have been charged. Do you agree with that?
The man would have been charged if he did the beating. If he did the beating.
No, he didn't do the beating just because he was involved with her and the police officer did it.
I can't say that. They would have to prove that he's culpable. You can't ask somebody like me because I'm gonna go by what the like if the prosecutor has enough evidence to convict. I mean, this is levels, right? Because prosecutors, DAs ain't finna come into play if they ain't got no enough information to smash down a case. Because at the end of the day, they have to have their numbers right? Because they already got their little agenda anyway. So unless they got enough evidence to convict, it's not gonna happen. And this is where people get caught up because leaders want shit to be fair. Life ain't fucking fair. There are double standards, and double standards will always exist.
I don't want shit to be fair. I want shit to be ordered and people to know their place.
I'm not sure what that means, but yeah. But at any rate, we want things to be fair and balanced. There are double standards for men. There are double standards for women. I don't sit here and cut up because I don't have some advantages that men have. It just is what it is. Me personally, it doesn't bother me because it just is what it is. But I'm not going to focus on unless they find evidence that this woman said that she wanted something done to him or she had hands in this and her hands is dirty. I'm not going there. But if they find her hands is dirty, lock that motherfucker up. I don't give a fuck. But they better find out that her hands is dirty because what it sounds like right now, based on the evidence, based on what we have now, it sounds as if she had moved on. She was rocking with the dude that they killed, and homeboy got mad, and then he had all his brothers
investigating her.
At any rate, he had all his brothers
investigating her at all. That's the whole point. They're not investigating.
How do you know they're not investigating her? This is what I'm saying. We're jumping out the window, and now the conversation is going to be about black men and women. I can't do it.
I think, it is kind of moving a little further away from the topic a little bit. But I get where you're going with it, Truth, and The point is this for me, regardless of the situation with the cop and the ex-girlfriend, that right there is unacceptable because you use your power to do this. You use your position to do this. And
Preach.
that speaks to a lot of people some people just can't handle a little bit of power.
Who disagree with that?
Some people just can't handle a little bit of
Nobody
money.
disagree with that part.
No, preach.
They just can't handle, and so when they get in their feelings like these cops did, they got into their feelings. They used it against someone that it shouldn't even happen. I think Swift, they should be dealt with. I think they need to deal with the vanilla person too. They need to come on with it because he should be in it too.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think nobody.
I'm concerned why they got the black boys' faces all over there, but they ain't put hands on it. But you know, the internet is undefeated. They found.
Hey, listen,
they found.
That shit
you see how fast they went to. You see how fast they charged the hell out of these black dudes. They charged them so fast. If these were some white guys, you know, it took a longer time.
Oh my God,
that's facts.
A way longer time.
I don't like him.
Let's put these niggas in the chair quick.
I don't like him, but one thing that he did say. Now we see how fast they got these boys locked up and charged. Going forward, everybody should do the same thing, regardless of color. So next time one of the vanillas do this, y'all need to do the same thing, just like how y'all with them.
And that's the point that I'm making.
And we need to be on the ass on everybody too. Go ahead, Truth.
Yeah, that's the point that I'm making. See, if this lineup, I don't even know if we ever even seen a lineup where it's all 5 black police officers. This is what I'm saying. This is so
they all chocolate too, Lord.
Yeah,
listen.
This is so
and they look like it could be. The dark skin look like he could be my brother.
Yeah, all of them.
Did y'all know that all 5 of them are frat brothers?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they somewhere along the lines they connected. And this is my whole point. They
That's crazy.
So fast they're throwing them in the daggone cooker so quick. You feel what I'm saying? And rightfully so. Rightfully so. Nobody is disagreeing with the fact that police officer deleted a young man and they should be going in the pot. Nobody disagree with it. But that does not change the scenario of the fact that I think if somewhere along the lines there need to be an extra investigation to see if that daggone thing had something to do with it. They already put the cooker. I think even more of an investigation need to come down the line and get people involved, because if it was 2 men, just like Ronnie said, I mean 2 women and a man was involved some type of way where he had said certain things that led to a woman being deleted or some type of way, they will make sure that he is guilty until proven innocent. They will make sure they examine his tail, because they're going to put him on that chopping block too. And that's the point I am making. We need to do our due diligence of all parties involved, because what was the reason why? The reason why was because they was emotional, but not only because they was emotional, it was over a female. So that part need to be examined too. I don't care who. I said what I said.
I understand where you're coming from, and but you want to know something? I do want to hit what Just Jay said. You do got a point. In Massachusetts, there's this thing called a joint venture law, meaning that 2 or 3 parties involved in a situation, whatever contributes to a crime being committed, and that's one thing. But there is a point about, in this one thing I could say, as men, we do have to be able to hold our composure on stuff, because what they did was a negligence beyond negligence. And that's the thing that I understand where Just Jay is coming from. Like, we don't know what's going, there's still tons of stuff we don't know what's going on there. But the root of this whole thing is they felt compelled enough to do this and knew that they was going to get off of it.
Oh yeah, see that's the other parts I want to tell y'all. So here we go. Here's story time. So there are multiple people that are coming forward and telling their story about how this certain team had beat them up too. They just survived and they got away with it.
And they reported it to internal affairs, and internal affairs did not respond.
Exactly.
So again, we're talking about a system.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got it. Okay.
Read, JJ. Read.
You can see in the video they were all trying to get their story right, but see what they didn't think that they were in a spot where those personal cameras were.
Mm-hmm.
That's what got stripped up. Those private cameras.
Well,
Okay,
I'm just trying to figure out who disagree with that though. Did anybody disagree with that point? Because I think we
No, I
touched
don't
that.
agree with. But I want to ask you guys a question. How can we as Black people change the system?
You can't.
We can't. We're not even unified.
Exactly. And we
That part.
Right there.
Right part.
So when we say
right
we're not
there.
unified, is that just Black men, or does that include women? Because if women are being demonized, then it's not going to be. It can't be no unity anyway.
So-
we all have to come from a place of understand. Okay, go ahead.
So this is the thing. So we're never going to be unified. For example, I'm gonna give you. We have two women up here. So if the way I believe how order works between man and women interaction, it might align with the way with Ty, how she believes man and women interaction, even down to their household, should align. But me and Just Jay, we don't agree with how man and interaction order is supposed to be
Says who?
processed. I say I don't agree with you.
What? No. That's fine,
Yeah,
but because
I'm saying-
we never really had that conversation, so I'm not sure where we're going.
I am saying that we just
You can say what you want, but it's not valid because we've never had a sincere conversation.
Okay, so once again, I don't have to have a sincere conversation. A natural interaction displays that we are not comparable with.
Well, you're making it personal. Things start with mutual respect with anybody. You don't have to know a person.
I respect those who respect me. So I have never been disrespected by this woman, and I have never disrespected her. So we have
Which woman? I mean, are you talking to me? I'm kind of confused. You talking about Red, or are you talking about me?
I'm talking about Red.
Okay, but I don't need triangulation either because Red don't have nothing to do with this.
Okay, you asked us. I'm answering.
But you're bringing other stuff into this conversation, and this is why we cannot focus on Tyree.
See, again,
I'm focused on the injustice.
Okay.
I don't care if Red never disrespected you.
Right.
I'm not Red.
So, okay, I know you know.
And if you're going there, I haven't disrespected you.
That you are.
If you want to go there, you have called me all kind of bitches, unwarranted, unwarranted. Yes, and guess what? I wasn't even talking to you.
Let's not change the goalpost. Let's just answer the question.
So this is what happens when people don't focus on the injustice.
Red, pick up my phone, man. Red, pick up the phone.
Hey, I'm lost. I don't know what's going on.
Well, this is what happens when people bring other stuff into the fold. I'm trying to focus on Tyree and the abuse of power. That's my focus.
I sure have.
And that's fine. You're entitled to do whatever it is you want, but don't get up here and act as if you're for the collective.
Keep talking about this.
That is okay.
I sure have.
Well, I need you to back up your reasons for that being warranted. It's no different than them pulling that man out the car and beating the fuck out of him. Okay, you done? You're done?
I sure have. No,
because you're really combative right now, and I don't even have that energy for you. So I'm not understanding. You can let me know when you're done.
No,
you can let me know when you're done.
Know your place.
No, it's not about that. And that's my whole point. It comes from a place of mutual respect. It's about mutual respect.
That's why I called you that.
We don't have to mute you guys. We don't have to mute.
You can mute me, that's fine.
We're not going to lead to no chaos. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm not here for chaos. I'm here to talk about the abuse of power.
No, I'm just joking. But let's go back to the question I was asked.
I'm here because I was invited on the show. That's why.
Yes, you were.
I'm not understanding the energy. Have I done something to you on this panel?
About the situation and address.
No, I'm just asking. Did I disrespect you up here on this panel? I'm confused.
No, nobody was disrespecting nobody. Everybody was cool.
Well, I'm asking because it seems like it's an issue.
I came up here about the situation once again.
All right.
I understand
Okay,
that,
so I
but the
came up
energy
here
you
because
have for
I'm part of this show.
okay,
Once
so
again,
How
all
about
right.
so again, we talk about unification. You can't
let this
We
unify
can't have
pieces out.
unification with
I
unwarranted
don't want. I don't.
disrespect.
Again, so once
how
again,
about we do this? Let's just do one at a time, and let you speak here. Let
all
her
right. So
let
right.
give her a chance for her to speak her point
Yeah,
of
yeah.
view.
Let's speak true, and then
Yeah,
we come back to
and
you, and then Red, and then me, and then Jordan, and
please,
I.
please
Hey,
let's
Hakeem. This is my first time on here, there on the panel. I appreciate y'all having me. I'm gonna go ahead and drop down because y'all did invite y'all guests. I don't really understand the energy. I'm not here for that. I'm here to focus on Tyree and the
no,
injustice that
we
he.
are we are here
No,
to
I
focus.
understand, but I think it's best for
And,
me to drop down because I don't deal with unnecessary disrespect. So I appreciate you, dear.
okay,
I will be back to tap in. I promise. I'm gonna be in the
uh,
chat. I appreciate y'all.
okay.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you,
Just
dear.
Jay. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. All right, go ahead, True. Go speak your words, man. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you. So once again, we talking about unifying to resolve problems. You can't unify unless people are in agreement. You can't walk nowhere unless you're in agreement. And if you ain't in agreement on how order is, nothing will get done. So our people are divided. So if we go to the table to try to change laws, anything, they're not going to listen to us. They're going to say, hey, bro, you guys aren't even in agreement. Y'all don't even have pecking order. Y'all don't have no type of order. Y'all women disrespect y'all, overtalk y'all, don't listen. So why would we even listen to y'all? We have our women in check. We know how to put our women in check. They listen. They know when to fold. They know when to follow orders. They're going to keep running things. They're going to keep doing things. And this thing is going to even get even more publicity than if it was white people there. Y'all don't see this? That's that because that's what I was trying to explain to y'all earlier. We got 5 black men that destroyed another black man. So the images is black men destroy their own black image. And it was black men that destroyed this black man. Y'all don't see the whole thing that has been perpetuated for over the last couple years, how this falls and ties right into that. You feel what I'm saying? And then the display of the interaction that just happened up here. Why would you ever listen to somebody if they can't even keep their household in order?
And to be honest with you, brother,
Good question.
I would listen to him because you want to know something.
Exactly.
I learned. Let me tell you what I learned a long time ago. Every opinion, even good or bad, is good for education.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? And because you know me, coming from reasonable means. My parents are foreigners, so I had to learn English a certain kind of way. And then growing up amongst black people, they taught me a hard lesson about life, which I thank them every day about. And the thing about that, learning about that, I look at every situation as understanding what we into. Because let me tell you something. My situation is not the Black American experience, but I was already in it. I got brought into it. So now I understand 100%. So, and this is why it's very important that we need to hear everybody's opinion, good or bad, because you want to know why we need to be able to understand each other. And that's why I say I would love for us to have a proper
Discord or
I want us
disagreement.
to have I want us to all have a proper discord and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And you know me to do that so we can all have a good conversation. Now, brother, now I want to say something. You all right. We are all not on the same accord. But here's the thing. For us to get past anything, we have to get over our differences. We need listen, I'm gonna tell you something right now. We all need each other.
Facts. Preach.
Listen, we all need each other. I need you, Truth. I need you, Truth. I need you, Sexy. I need Ronnie. I need Dad. I need everybody in the chat. I need even the young person you had. I need her too. Her opinion is valid as well. We need everybody voices to hear, even whatever tensions we got going on. I want us to come together. This is the reason why white folks are going to still win if we can't get over our differences.
That's true. Facts.
You know what I mean? This is why it's so easy for us to be conquered. This is a beautiful thing that we are here together. Listen, this is the most happy I've ever been to be able to have a group of people to sit and talk as family. I want us to get over this. I want us to all love each other and respect, because you want to know something? Our biggest issue is not us. Our biggest issue is them folks. Because let me tell you something. I want to know, where did these people and that police officer learn they had the power to beat a brother up like that? That's an internal issue.
No, because Hakeem, are you aware that there are certain areas in the community, I think they call redlining, that the police have the same thing too, that they say, okay, it's okay to do certain things in that area, but you can't do that in the suburbs.
No, you're right, but I'm speaking from a Pan-African situation. I say those are my black brothers. Where in their hearts felt like they can beat our brother up like that? That's what I'm heard about. Where did you feel like you can do what our enemy is doing to us to them?
Yeah,
we need to come together. You know what I mean?
See, this the thing, Hakeem.
Yeah,
because we've been having these conversations for since I've been on here for about 2 years, 2.5 years, bro. We've been having these conversations over and over and over and over and over again. And things is not getting nowhere. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. The divide is worse. The disrespect is worse. You know, what I call victim blaming, playing coy, throwing rocks and hiding your hand and all this type of stuff is getting worse. People perpetuate a facade, and truly they are the cancer. At the end of the day, in any functioning business, there is order. Not a whole bunch of people talking. Not a whole bunch of people suggesting. The daggone people, the janitors is not coming somewhere telling the CEO what the heck to do inside that building other than they know their job to wash them daggone floors and toilets. We do not have order. Everybody's talking. This is the problem. Everybody has a voice to talk in all spaces.
I agree.
Instead of, the people that, okay, if this is your panel and this is your platform and you invite people or they're coming on to, to join the situation, then they should be the ones talking. The problem is we keep having all these panels where so many different people are talking at one time, so many people giving their input and their opinion. It's a daggone opinion. It is not factual. It is daggone sure ain't the truth. And it daggone sure is not even showing up in that daggone house, bro. This is the problem. They don't even live a certain type of way. But they want to come on and tell people to go out here and talk to the goddamn mayors and Congress and all these different type of things to produce change. Oh, let's go out here and march and boycott. How many times do you keep doing the same situation that never had worked in the beginning, bro? This is what I'm saying.
Preach, my brother.
How many times we going to keep doing this thing where we do the same thing? Everybody want to talk. Everybody want to gather. Everybody want to say their different opinions. Everybody want to say this, but we're still not unified. We don't have a direction or what I call a plan of attack to deal with situations, bro. That's the problem. We're not dealing with it. We're just coming up here talking about this young man that lost his life for stupidity because other emotional men did something stupid to this kid, and now a child is left fatherless. That's the worst part.
Preach.
A child is left fatherless. That's the worst part, because now guess what? That produces another cancer to society if that child does not have a father somewhere. That's the preach. Nobody's not thinking about that. What's going on with that kid crying that their daddy ain't home? That's the problem. Their daddy is not coming back, man. Nobody's talking about that part, though. So, irregardless, we're going to keep bumping heads, bro, until we get order. Do anybody know what the solution is? The solution means we solve the problem. Nobody don't want to solve the problem. I want to give you my input. You want to give me your input. And then we just keep talking. And the next day we go by and we do the same stupid stuff. And then we disrespect each other the next day. That's what's going on, bro. That's it.
Man. Facts, dude. Go ahead. Go ahead. Hakeem, you was going to say something? Or realistic?
I don't know. Red, I don't know if anybody wanted to speak before I speak.
Oh, no. The only thing I can say is we're not going to be able to fix it as a whole. That's just my opinion. it's going to have to start within your own household. Sweep around your own front door.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
No,
You're going to have to, because the community starts where?
At home.
The family.
At home, the family.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
If you don't fix that part, how you gonna fix the other big part? That's just my part.
So I agree with what you say, but I want to speak on this from a point that, you know, as us being people, no matter if you're from the diaspora, Africa, there's already been a dysfunction from the beginning.
Yeah,
we was brought. We had order prior before our situation been disrupted. We have to relearn and we teach ourselves. A lot of situations we have a lack of love in the situation, have a lack of understanding. Now, mind you, my brother, you from the streets. I'm from the streets as well, and we all dealt with different type of situations. I've dealt with aggressive people my whole life. And I dealt with all kinds of people that I had to learn how to deal with people and then to bring people back to love. Because let me tell you something, the level of violence, the level of disrespect, the level of distaste, the level of lack of love we got for our people it gets even worse about a day. But the problem is nobody's not going to be like me. I'm able to deal with anybody. And I'm able to deal with somebody who's very emotional. I'm able to deal with somebody who's not emotional. Because I want to take time with my people. Because being black is an everyday job. A lot of y'all know this. Y'all go through this every day. Being a woman is an everyday job. Being a black man is an everyday job. I don't understand a woman's struggle. By far can't even understand it. I don't, and women can't understand our struggle. But we have to come together to get some kind of order so we can hear both people's opinion. Now, mind you, here's the thing. As us being kings, we also got to know our people and our queens and different people. Some people might come to us emotional. They might not have the same housing situation we have. You feel me? They might not have the same upbringing we have. I've mentored young brothers who was very emotional at a young stage. I've talked to women who was very emotional at a young stage, but it's all trying to come to an understanding. We have to take time for our own people if we're going to take time for other people outside our race to get to a point. Now, mind you, it does start at home, but you want to know something? We come here and talk to each other every day. This is a small micro community. It don't take us nothing to come collective thoughts and start applying ideas to our everyday life. You feel me? And that's why I say it's important that the information that we talk about here today and every day we're building this so we can lead up to some actionable results.
Okay.
But
Can I respond to Judge before you go?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
He said, so the officer initiated this trash behavior. Did he start at home? Yes, actually he did. If you heard what I said to you earlier, that he actually got in trouble for being excessive during his hazing, because he is actually one of the fraternity frat leaders, where he was actually reprimanded for excessive hazing, and where he actually was fired from another position where he was excessive with other words. So yeah, it did start at his home, not just in the police department.
Go ahead, Jordan.
No, I was going to come back with what Hakeem was saying. And in order to do what Hakeem says, it's going to take a lot of patience, which especially our black community, we don't have a lot of patience. We need to know how to build patience. And it's going to take generationally to make this thing right. It's going to take a generation, a whole generation after generation to make it right.
And as we get ready to go.
You said patience? It takes a lot of patience.
I say it takes some patience.
So my question is, do we have enough time?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Good. I don't think we have enough time.
Yeah, we're out of time.
Yeah.
We out of time. I'm with you. We're out of time. And go ahead, True. Go ahead.
I was saying we're out of time. This thing has gotten so far. It's basically, bro. It's like sort of like what the bro Ricky said, man. It's really over, man. And this is the thing that I'm trying to really like, because at the end of the day, we're going to keep bumping heads. It's a real it's a gulf of a divide between men and women right now. It's a gulf on both sides. Both are accountable. Both are responsible. But the problem is we got both sides saying, no, this person is responsible. That person is responsible. The thing is this. Let's say you got a guy that ain't doing the things that the women are complaining about. So most of the time you hear a woman complain about a man sleeping around, a man that doesn't want to take care of home, a man that's not there for their children. These are the things they complain. And they saying, how can we come together if you don't do these things? But you want to know what else is the problem is? They can be around a guy that do all those things and they still will disrespect the hell out of him. So how do you fix that?
You can't.
You don't. You don't.
So that's all I need. That's all.
You don't. You don't.
And as we get ready to close, you got any final remarks? Because it was a dope episode and very serious episode. Go ahead.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you for coming.
Thank you, sis. Like I said, you changed the trajectory of the whole thing with that.
You sure did. We thank you for that.
I saw y'all going, in the blind tunnel. I had to give you some.
I'm thankful.
No, thank you.
We're thankful. We're thankful. We thank you. Thank you for that.
Y'all missing.
Hey, make sure y'all subscribe to Red Lipstick channel. I already put it in the chat, so make sure y'all go subscribe to her channel. She have dope conversation over there. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe. Support the sister. Go ahead, True. On your closing remarks.
As always, brother, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Sorry things got a little bit derailed. That's the thing. I don't come for arguing, but one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not just going to allow anyone to say anything, and especially when it comes to certain type of situations. Usually I wouldn't even interact. I would have dropped off like how I've been dropping off when certain people come up. But I had already promised you that I was going to be here. But from now on, if you invite for certain people, and I let them know, hey, because I don't feel like arguing. People are not even important to argue with. You feel what I'm saying? If for those who invite me up and you want to, hear me speak or whatever like that, then I'm going to say, hey, bro, I can't be around this. So it's either that situation or this situation, and hopefully, like I said, you want me here, I'll be here. But if certain individuals, then yeah, I can't do that, sir. So hopefully somewhere and someone gained solace, and hopefully I added some type of insight to the information. I appreciate you guys' insight. I've learned a lot. Produced and everything like that. I'm glad the conversation got a little bit more elaborate, so it helped me to understand more about what happened. And actually, it just shows what is really wrong with our community as a whole in this one case right here. It ties into everything in this one case. That's what I'm trying to show everybody. And last is I want people to understand this is a pawn being moved, bro. This is a pawn being moved. This situation is not just the only situation. It's something bigger coming behind this. And just like with the situation where the gentleman that had his knee laid on his neck, you feel what I'm saying? What came after that? We went into a pandemic, right? Pay attention to what's coming next. That's what all I gotta say is, brothers. You guys have a blessed evening. Praise God, and thank you guys. Hope to be
Bless his name.
Thank you so much, my brother, for coming.
My final thoughts. I think it was a dope episode. Great to have you, True. Just Jay on Red Lipstick. I learned a lot, especially as being a man, because as I continue to go as in manhood, my mind is going to continue to change and continue to elevate. And I love your point, Hakeem, the fact you made of sticking together. And I think we're going to need that more than ever. That's my final take.
Yeah, man, this show was very, very dope. It's probably one of the best shows we ever had. But yeah, man, together as a group, we need to have the respect And the thing is, we just say, I don't know if you found out what Just Say said about, integrity and honor. We don't have that in our Black community whatsoever. We need that in there effective immediately. We need that. We need that. We need that. And Just Say, thank you for posting that about integrity and honor, because we do not have that in our community. That's my take.
You want to know something? We supposed to disagree.
Yes.
We supposed to disagree. We supposed to not understand. Mm-hmm. We are all different people, but everybody's points has to be heard. We're not going to always get along. We're going to have disagreements, but everybody's voice has to be heard. And the thing about that is, I'm tired of. I don't want us to separate, because I tell you, you know what I mean. Together we can do beautiful things. Divided, we're just sitting ducks. You know what I mean? Without our women, we ain't nothing, and the women without our man, we ain't nothing. You know what I'm trying to say? We both make each other better. We both bring something to the table, and it's important that I pray to God that we can come with love and passion to help influence each other and make each other's lives better. You know what I'm saying?
And now you have a great appreciation to True. Make sure you guys go over there and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
Make sure you subscribe to Realistic and also Judge Jay, the dope content creators. Thank everybody for being in the chat. I'm not gonna lie, Hakeem. To me, I love the great interaction. Everybody was super on me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Man, it was just. I think this is one of our greatest episodes of all time.
It's the best episode, and I don't know if y'all still have time to at least maybe let her. I don't know if she had a point she wanted to say before we.
Jay?
Yeah, she
I'm
wanted
not sure if she left. She's here. She's still there. Judge Jay, you still in the chat?
You still in the chat, Judge Jay? I don't know if you still want to. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I want to appreciate Nikki, baby, Just Jay, Lady S, Urban
John
Noise,
Smith,
John. Oh, come on,
Kenny.
Man. Kenny, listen, Kenny Mars. I need you, baby. The way you was here, you kept me going. I need you to be here on the regular. Listen, let me not forget my brother from another mother, Jabari.
I came. She's coming. She's coming. Okay, she's coming.
Chaos Culture Radio fam, as Allah has blessed us with the people that we got, I believe that us here, we're going to get to where we got to go, and we're going to help change some people's lives. And we just got to be able to stick together as family. You know what I mean?
Of course, we're going to want you back on the show. Of course. The guys would love you in the chat, man. You speaking that knowledge.
True. Brother, we definitely got to have you on there, man. We got other shows. We're gonna we listen. We want everybody on the show. We want everybody. Truth, I need you. We got other stuff we got to do. We got bags to get.
And I can't. You forgot Jordan White was in the chat too, showing some support.
That's the Chaos Culture Radio. Yeah. Listen. I pray for Jordan's wife I pray for Jordan's wife every day because she let Jordan come on this show. Praise God. Alhamdulillah. Listen, you know the women run the household. They make sure they guide our man's division. Hey, you sure you can? So you know what I mean? And this is what I say: peace to the queens, man. Peace to the queen.
Just Jay coming. We just waiting for Just Jay. There she go. And she can say our final thoughts on me.
Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, queen. Go right ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Train of thought, convo, but in general, I.
Hold on, Just Jay. You gotta use Google Chrome. Just Jay. You gotta use Google Chrome.
Did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
One
second. Thank y'all for being.
No problem.
Okay, we waiting for you. Go ahead.
You want to know something? When we started, people, I want to tell you, when we started this journey to start this podcast, the only thing we could ever dream of is to have a community to converse with, and this is important. I don't know if a lot of y'all might feel this way. This is therapeutic to me. Talking to you, True, talking to all of y'all, Red Lipstick, talking to these brothers here. I have over 300 hours with these dudes talking, 200 hours. Constantly talking, constantly trading thoughts. Jordan has helped me change a lot of my views just on being a man. The fact that he's married. Ronnie has changed some of my views about
That's
being.
cap.
No, it's not cap. Can I tell you something, brother? These last couple years, you have taught me to teach me to become a better brother to you, to become a better brother to people, to become a better friend, and to accept accountability. And that's what I'm here to learn. You know what I mean? To learn, because I can get emotional at times as well. You feel me? And go ahead, Queen.
Go ahead, Quinn.
Okay, I'm back. Hopefully, I don't have to be deterred from. If you don't mind, just leave certain comments off the screen. Okay, so at any rate, I do think that and like I said, I don't like to commingle, you know what I'm saying, different things, right? I've personally learned how to separate my personal issues and be able to focus on the task at hand. Right. And not even a reference to him, just in general, because sometimes we get caught up in our triggers and whatever we want, you know what I'm saying? Whatever we have going on in our heads, we have to be able to separate. And so that's why I'm able to separate from the fact that it's possible that this woman could have been culpable in this crime. Like, we don't have the answers. We don't know. I am able to focus on actions. And I've been like that since I was young. I've always had a hard time blaming and deflecting and pointing fingers at other people, because ultimately it is how I choose to respond to a situation, right? And I don't always get it right. Ronnie already know me in these YouTube streets. You know what I'm saying? I be cutting up around here sometimes, But at the end of the day, we all have to be responsible for how we choose to respond. We talk about accountability, right? At the end of the day, you cannot make anyone accountable. Accountability starts with self. You cannot force accountability, right? You can't say that you're here to bring unity and you're here for the collective when there is an undercurrent of disdain, right? If I had an undercurrent of disdain for Black men, I wouldn't be able to be here with y'all and have a sincere conversation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Just like as far as divestors are concerned, I don't take in their information because I'm fucking raising sons. I refuse, because it is taking in poison. So I wouldn't be able to meet the needs of my sons if I was constantly taking in that stuff. So it's important for us to do the internal work. We have to start out as individuals. Of course, we have a collective, right? But if we a whole bunch of shitty, trash ass character people coming together in a collective, it doesn't matter what resources we have. You're still going to be dealing with people who lack integrity, who lack honor, who don't have a code. Like the dude, John, I think his name was John or James or something in the chat. He said that men need a code. At one point in time, people had codes and they followed them codes. Hakeem, you've been in the streets. You understand. There is
100%.
fucking codes. It doesn't matter if you in prison, if you in the streets, wherever. It's always been a code, but now people lack boundaries. You feel me? And so there is no fucking code. There is no level of honor, right? And so if these women out here are hoes and they doing this and busting it wide open, okay, if that's the case and that's what women been doing, the game ain't changed. So why the fuck niggas ain't catching on? This is what I'm saying. The game will never fucking change. We have to decide how we choose to move. Okay, these scenarios play out. Okay, shout out. Y'all know they say women always watch an ID channel, y'all. So yes, I watch ID channel. Okay, I love it. I eat it up. But guess what? I see everyday people on them fucking shows. These are everyday people like you and me. We get caught up. We out here dibbling and dabbling, talking to this person, talking to that person. Niggas out here saying it's in their biology to fuck around, but they don't talk about the risk that's involved with fucking around. They don't talk about trash ass character. To me, trash character come in all genders. It doesn't fucking matter. Yes, there's some females out here that'll set your ass up. Yes, your homeboys will set you the fuck up too. And so we have to be mindful how we choose to move and who we choose to associate with. And for me, it doesn't have anything to do with, your personal beliefs or anything like that, right? Because all of us, like the collective, we're not going to be like, we all don't believe in the same things, right?
No.
So I feel like that's
Right.
unreasonable. I
Yeah.
am able to connect with people regardless to what your personal beliefs are. You understand what I'm saying? But that's something that I had to learn, and I
Same here.
personally learned that once I
Me
left the
too.
church, because when I was in church, we was only in them four walls, amongst us, nobody else.
That's
Now I'm in a
right.
place where I can connect with an atheist, I can connect with an agnostic, whatever. That don't move me, because that's their personal walk. But if we're
Yeah.
able to appreciate one another, right? And
Preach, sister.
everybody's life for where they are, and meet them with a level of mutual respect. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep saying that everything starts with mutual respect. We could talk
Yeah.
about logic and everything, but as I was saying in the chat earlier, we are emotion based beings. People could
Hmm.
talk this logic shit all day. If we wasn't emotion based beings, we would not have fight or flight. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm asking in the chat, how do you not move in fear? I'm asking from an esoteric level. You feel me? Because
Mm.
every dude out here, every woman out here, every black person out here know that they could possibly get killed by the cops. You know what I'm saying? Unless somebody is
100%.
just like really mental
100%.
and not understanding, they know the
Woo.
risk. But when it's time to act out, right? We talk a good game, but when we're in the middle of shit, that's when it counts, right? All
Yep.
these
Right.
tools and resources that we got, all this shit we learn, all this wisdom we got, it really counts when you in the midst of it,
Miss it.
in the fucking thick of it, right? So how do we de-escalate this shit in our mind? Like I was sharing on another panel, I have been in situations with the police. I don't have a record, but I have thought some crazy shit. And if I didn't have restraint, I would have fucking got shot.
Yep.
Why?
Mm.
Because your body is in a state of panic. It's fight
Yep.
or flight. And
Right.
like the
Yep.
gentleman in the chat said, everybody responds to adrenaline different.
Yep.
So it takes more than just saying you can't be and you can't move in fear. What does that look like? Because it starts in the mind. You feel me? Even the
Mm.
most
You got a
rational
point.
person will
You got
get
a point.
cased up in a situation with the police.
Yeah, you got a point.
Yeah,
I
you got
had a
that point on
ticket
that.
and I had a bench warrant, right? This ticket, I had a bench warrant. I didn't even know. Y'all know in Florida, typically they just up the price of the ticket. I
That's
move
it.
Oh,
out
yeah,
here
no.
to the listen, y'all. I move out to the boonies, right? They don't put a bench warrant out on me for a goddamn seatbelt ticket, y'all. And
They'll
I'm
do
Oh,
it.
like,
wow.
what? So
They'll
I'm
do it
taking
to
my
you.
son to his swimming lessons with the Red Cross. I got on some house clothes and I get pulled over. Anyway, long story short, he tell me I got a warrant and he got to take me in. I was finna fucking panic, y'all.
Mhm.
My rational self that knows the police will fuck me up. I was about to panic, and the first thing I said, I put my hand up and I say, "Sir, don't handcuff me in front of my son." But I was ready to freak the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he went to take a step towards me, and I almost snatched back. I had to get a grip.
Yep.
You feel me? So when we say don't move in fear, and everybody has their and fear isn't always rational, right? Like fear is valid, right? We have reasons to be fearful, but it's always not going to be rational. The way
Yep.
we respond isn't gonna, like, because as we say, we could look at that situation and say, oh, well, it didn't make no sense that he ran. Y'all done seen plenty of cop shows. The dude take off and all he had was a suspended license or something weird like that.
No, but it's
So
true though.
yeah, it's not
It's true.
rational.
It's
So
true.
we have to figure out and find ways and gather the necessary tools to be able to de-escalate these situations. Now, somebody also said in the chat that it's the burden of the offender to de-escalate. I kind of agree, right? To a
Mhm.
degree. But officers,
Mhm.
officers, leaders in general, right? I tell people I try to be a thermostat, not a thermometer. A thermometer take temperature.
Mhm.
Thermostat set the fucking tone. You feel me? And a lot of this shit could be de-escalated when officers come into the space with their energy. So when we say logic, nah, they energy already come in with a certain tone, and that's gonna dictate usually how stuff move most of the time. So I just think that us as individuals, I'm always saying it has to start with self, and that looks different for everybody, right? I ain't here to tell
Yep.
people what
Mhm.
they have to do because it looks different for everybody. But I do think that it takes a level of mindfulness. It takes a level of empathy, right? And understanding that everybody walk is different, and just because my walk is different from yours doesn't make me any less than. You understand what I'm saying? I'm the type of person I could chop it up with the mayor and I could chop it up with a crackhead. It's nothing,
Mhm.
and they all get the same
Love it.
level of respect. But that's how I move. When people come from a place of being haughty, being built up in their mind, a false sense of self, This is where the issue comes into play because now I think I'm better than you, Ron. I think I'm better than you, Hakeem. So here, let me school you niggas, because you niggas don't know shit. How you gonna listen to me and I'm coming at you with that energy? It has to be a level of respect. And so I feel like that applies across the board to anybody. But we are dealing with situations concerning a system. This ain't truly, in my opinion, it doesn't have anything to do with them being black. This is a system, a toxic system, a power dynamic that is insanely imbalanced, right? It's hard to be in that type of profession and come out with your hands clean, right? Because, like I say, I didn't last long as a CO, but I wonder if I was in the game for 25 years as a CO, would my hands have been clean? I would say most likely no. You understand what I'm saying? And so when you got these lieutenants and stuff and these sergeants that's been up in the game for 25 years, they know how to sweep shit under the rug. Yep. Just like Red was talking about internal affairs. The gentleman who was being harassed by them same cops reported this to internal affairs and they have yet to respond. That's Police crazy. Don't give a fuck about policy. Please let me school y'all in this regard. They don't give a fuck about policy. What law enforcement care about is whether or not you're a liability. So what they do whenever they train you, they will tell, they'll sit there and give you all the policy. They'll give you tons and tons of paper on policy. At the end of the day, how many of them always follow policy? Come on now. If you've been locked up, Hakeem, you already know what it is. Oh hey man, God. I don't feel good. Well, fill out a kite. I already filled out 5 kites. You know what I'm saying?
Information get twisted up. Exactly. When they said one thing, you said one thing. You just chuck it up and say, hey, it is what it is.
And you throw your hands up. You understand what I'm saying? And so this is what I mean by the system. Now, I can't say I have the perfect answers to combating this system because I can't front. Sometimes I just feel like it is what it is. When it comes to my sons, my little one is super small, so he ain't necessarily got that concept yet. He on the spectrum as well, so he just move a little bit different. He's smarter than me and my oldest though, but go figure. But anyway, my oldest, he's 21, and I've always taught him how to navigate, right? Because I feel like you could deal with whatever limitations in life, but if you know how to move and navigate in society, you have an advantage. 100%. The problem is when a lot of people don't know how to move in society, it creates issues. I don't care how smart you are or how rich you are. If you don't know how to navigate, it's going to cause you trouble. So what I teach him personally, and the way I talk to y'all is the same way I talk to my son. And sometimes I'm a little bit rougher, but I tell him, listen, my son is 6'5", 315 pounds. He big and black. Yep. We live in an area where there are no black people at all, right? So I tell him, when you go outside, it doesn't matter what type of person you are. All they're going to see is that you big and black.
Black, yep.
And so I teach him how to move. I don't sit here trying to fight fucking racists and tell, oh, you racist and da-da-da. You can't change the heart of a racist. You can't change the heart of a biased person. But what I can do is teach my son how to navigate. And what I think is helpful for us all, right? And it looks different for everybody. Me as an officer, right? We was always taught you need to get compliance with the least amount of resistance, right? The least amount of resistance, you should get compliance with the least amount. So you can't come in guns blazing, wild west type, because you're gonna get hella resistance. So as you know, Hakeem, you got to know how to move. People in the streets, people who've been raised in certain areas, they could peep a situation from a mile away. I'm one of them type people. I could see some shit pop off and it could be light. And I'm like, okay, it's time for me to get on up out of here. Because y'all know down in Miami, all you're going to hear is, listen, all right, cool, bet that. Next thing you know, all you hear is gunshots.
Listen,
she already know.
Listen, I'm from Dade County. I've been locked up in TGK. I've been locked up in Broward. You already know. It's
absolutely.
It's a standard procedure when you deal with police out here and when you deal with niggas when you come into their hood. It's just that's what it is.
Okay, and so I know y'all wrapping up soon, right? But y'all already know down in Dade County, okay, we already know the Cuban officers could be just as fucking racist, right?
Yeah.
And so this is what I mean by the system. It's about a system.
Yeah.
Because them motherfuckers will come fresh off the boat and handle you like they a saltine cracker. You feel me?
Hey, that's the problem. You got some black ones. You got some black ones that'll even be more nasty. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember an officer named Mr. Kitchen.
No, I don't remember no Mr. Kitchen. You was out in the streets. See, you was the clowning me by Bunch Park. I was in the house.
You see, I'm 40. You see, I'm over 41, and I done been caught up in. I done had situations where I had black police officers who was even nastier.
Yes.
To me, than some
Facts.
Cuban officer. So it is a system. It's just like the same thing with schools and stuff like that. When you interact with certain teachers, is it all a system that we just need to break down and break down? Yeah.
It's definitely so even when we look at that, right, the officers, the black officers who are worse, right, and so you can still take it from that level, like the effects of slavery. Like, to me, all of this is all of this is a manifestation, right, of the level of dysfunction. Us as a people, as a collective, we have never been able to come up for air. You understand what I'm saying? We've never been able to come up for air. And so this is why things are so dysfunctional. Typically, when a person deals with trauma to the body, right, you have a level of recovery. Then you go to physical therapy, et cetera, et cetera. Us as a collective, black women, black men, I ain't here to pick sides, all of us, we have never been able to come up for air. If we think about coming up for air, we get hit in the head and we sink back down. You feel me? So this is definitely post-traumatic slave disorder, or whatever you want to call it. This is the remnants. This is how it manifests. Oppression constantly comes down and then it spreads laterally. This is the result of lateral violence. It is like an autoimmune disease, and we are attacking ourselves. And I don't have all the answers, but I do know it will help if we start as individuals.
And funny you say that, and as individuals, it all starts with therapy.
Listen, thank you so much for saying that. Do you know how many? Listen, don't give me the cussing. I almost lost my mind. You know how many niggas out here coming against therapy? It's insane.
I was one of them. Remember, my parents are foreigners. I got into the streets for all the wrong reasons. Because I got into the streets because I was insecure. I had a mother and father at home. That's not, that's not typical for somebody in Miami who wanted to be cool. I wanted to be cool. I wanted to fuck. To be honest with you, I wanted to fuck hoes. I didn't know how to talk to women. I couldn't have friends. That's why I got into the streets. I was extra violent to prove myself that I could be just as anybody else.
That need for validation is heavy.
I should have been a nerd.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm a Zoe. I grew up in the era where they was picking on Haitians.
You already know it. Listen, I had Haitian friends that would lie and say they was from somewhere else because they had what, Haitian Day, Cracker Day. You already know.
At 31, when I left Miami, I went and got my first therapy treatment. I cried like a baby on the floor in front of an Indian woman.
Wow.
I had to learn to. She made me re-love being Haitian, re-love being black, re-love my woman, re-love my family. Because I had a lot of resentment from my own people.
Absolutely. And it wasn't intentional, but they help you break it down. And that's why I tell people, they help you break it down. Go ahead, Hakeem.
You 100%. It was all, and listen here. Miami is a microcosm of what a lot of black men go through in all different places. Listen, do you know the fact that we are raised here with Cubans and the fact that we're raised here with Cubans, as a young kid, mind you, before I went to Liberty City, I stayed in Attapata. Growing up around Spanish people, they made you think that you needed to be with somebody light skinned.
Hello.
They made me listen. I actually came up with that thought in my head. Okay, I need to be with a Chico, or I need to be with somebody light skinned. I can't date nobody dark. I told you, therapy.
Right, Hakeem?
I was already programmed. My teachers told me I wasn't gonna be nothing. You're not smart. You ain't doing it. This is all in school. Shit, I went to Jackson.
Wow. One time
this
for Jackson.
Is all in school. Listen, a lot of us and people can state into the tech. We was even scared to go to school. I said, "Fuck that! I ain't doing this no more, nigga. I'm going to be here."
Yeah,
I had to. I assimilated so I could survive.
Absolutely.
And me surviving, I got even more dysfunctional over the years. I had less respect for women. I had less respect for because I'm an open book and tell you that there's things that I've done that I'm still praying to God and ask for forgiveness for.
Understood. Say less, my love.
You know what I'm saying? So, but now when I got therapy, this is why I kept talking about love.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I say I want to meet people with love. This is why I say I want to be a better husband when I get that chance to. I want to be a better father to people who's not even my kids. Because I understand, because I was raised, listen, I was raised with a father. And, and listen, the biggest disappointment I've ever did, my parents didn't care if I worked at McDonald's or anything. They was disappointed when I went to jail because they didn't raise me like that.
Right.
So I understand where you're talking about trauma. And sometimes we self-inflict trauma on our own.
And it's definitely not and that's why I tell people, like, whenever we say, oh, a person need to do this or do that, in my mind, right, the empathetic side of me, right, because of course I have my lower self when I'm just like, I don't want to hear that shit, fuck that nigga dumb, you know what I'm saying, that motherfucker dumb. We all come from those judgmental places, right? But I do allow space, because I'm the type of person, I don't have to like you to empathize with you and understand where you're coming from, right? So even in these spaces, the men that have their stories and their experience, I never deny people or tell people that their experience isn't valid. Everyone's experience is valid. And this is why a lot of people get shut out, because it's like, okay, well, your experience ain't valid. Nah, what you saying ain't shit. That's bullshit. Nah, I went through way worse. No, everybody's experience is valid. And as you know, being a foreigner, you feel me? You have a whole nother level of dysfunction. Oh, y'all Americans, y'all take everything for granted. Y'all got shit easy. Y'all got, well, listen, why do we make this assumption? Everybody got an experience and it's all valid. But I am so grateful that you speaking on mental health. Like, you don't understand how much it warms my heart. Cause Ronnie know I was always in the chat advocating for mental health, telling people like they need therapy. Sometimes I tell people in the chat, nigga, go heal, motherfucker, go heal. Like, you over here attacking me, bitch, go heal. And and I will always advocate for it, right? So some people say, okay, well, what is the point? Them people got worse problems than me. It's not about that, because I'm sure they have their own struggles. We all have our path, but the difference between a person just chit-chatting on YouTube, because YouTube ain't no substitute for professional therapy, as y'all already know. Talking to a therapist is trained in different modalities, different ways of approaching the mind. They help you reroute shit in your brain, right? Because we have to deprogram, then we have to reprogram, like what Hakeem was talking about. But it starts with awareness. And so I can't front. I have low tolerance for people that don't have self-awareness. I can see how I fit in a situation. I find it troublesome when people in general can't see how they fit into a situation. I could sit here and give you a list of all the shitty things Hakeem did to me. That nigga was running the streets. He cheated on me. He spent all the money. He ran all the gas out the car. I could sit there and do all that, but can I sit back and see how I fit into that situation? How did I contribute? Did I contribute by being passive? Did I contribute by not having healthy boundaries? You feel me? Like, it's levels to this shit. But anyway, I can just keep talking about it over and over. But
no, but I think what we'll do is, I'll probably talk to Jordan. I'm on JJ. The thing we might do is
truth and purpose.
I might talk to Jordan. I might talk to Jordan and see if we can do a topic about that.
I would definitely love to do that, because I know a few organizations and stuff that I back. And listen, all transparency here, I've been doing my work for years. Okay, I've been in therapy for almost a fucking decade. If y'all would have caught me 10 years ago, like I be telling people like, oh, you're a man hater, you're bitter, you what? Nah. Because if y'all would have caught me years ago, I would want to put a bullet in all y'all. You feel me? So I'm doing my work. And that doesn't mean because I'm doing my work, that doesn't mean I have arrived. So yes, truth, I will continue to say that. I am no better than you or the next person. The problem with people like yourself, truth, is you're too goddamn haughty and too self-righteous. I am not self-righteous. I am no better than nobody up here, because we all got a path. So do your thing. Yes, I will continue to advocate for mental health. I don't give a fuck, because there's niggas out here, there's women out here that's unhinged as fuck, and it's being exacerbated because motherfuckers is congregating in these spaces and promoting each other's bullshit without awareness. without humility, without coming from a place of empathy and understanding for one another. Everybody just want to be up in the spot licking each other wounds. Yeah, these bitches ain't shit. Yeah, these niggas ain't shit. Don't have these niggas babies. These babies is demons. I'm not internalizing none of y'all shit. I don't hate men by a long shot. There are men that I adore and I fucking respect, even in this space. And Ronnie, one of them. Ronnie can't never tell you I disrespected him. But trust and believe, I got a daddy, and my daddy raised me well. And my daddy told me never fucking lay down, and I don't lay down for no fucking body. And on that note, I'm gonna go on mute. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all.
I love you too, JJ. No, JJ, we gotta do a show with. We gotta do a show with you. I'm gonna talk to Jordan. I gotta talk to Jordan.
Just tap in and just give me a heads up, and I'll try to prepare as best as I can and just gather some information so that way we can share.
We love the way you talk. We love the freedom. You, Truth, Realistic. You guys are amazing people. Amazing
I appreciate y'all.
Amazing people.
I will continue to share out y'all video and spread the word.
I appreciate you.
And Hakeem, I didn't forget about that Bunch Park shit. Like this was
hey, we need to talk. Listen. But yeah.
Truth, you worried about immoral people in hell. Like we here on earth right now. You worried about fucking hell. We're here on earth. Stop it. Like it's just too much. That's why I can't come with crazy ass people like that. But anyway, I ain't forgot, Hakeem. We was on a serious situation today, but I listened. In the back of my head, I was like, okay, I got your Bunch Paul.
Well,
I am not from Bunch Paul.
We gotta handle that. Yeah.
But yeah, so guys, thank you so much, guys, for being here. If you have not done so already, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember, click all because we do go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Today was an awesome episode, very serious topic. Please share this video because I think it was a great information that was being shared. So make sure this video gets shared all around the world. Thank you guys for tuning in to Chaos Culture Radio. We over and out. Peace.
Peace.
God, if you don't believe in him, and what good is a gift if you don't receive it? What good is salvation if you don't confess? And what good is a testimony if you don't have a test? What good is it to live and have no meaning? What good is it to live and have no meaning? In him we live, we move, and we have our being. So what good is it to live and have no meaning? Sacrifice. What good is a servant if he doesn't lay down his life? What profits a man to gain the world? And if he gains the world, he loses his soul, his soul, his soul. To live and have no meaning. is it